Hello again, everyone. This is Plays with Trucks with Trucks Customs. Still a line from Chevy Cheeseburger. Hey, all you out there in YouTube land. Anyway, I love it when he says that. He's got a great introduction and he's great videos. So Chevy Cheeseburger, keep them coming, brother. I've been sitting and watching some of your stuff and really enjoy it. And thanks for all the hard work you put in. Keep on with plastic addiction. Thought I'd give you guys an update on a 70 Chevelle that I'm working on. This is a AMT model, 1970 Chevelle SS 454. It's 8940 is the actual kit number on that, so I'm kind of in different areas with it and different stages along the way. I got some different parts here that I want to show you. You can see I'm bringing some of them in. I used some of these for another video that I shot and uploaded earlier. Give you a wide angle look here at some of the different parts. I know it's not focusing real good, but start out with the motor here. This is the first one that I've actually ever wired on. I used some thread on this, so it's not the best in the world. It's just the stock distributor there. I just glued it in with some super glue. Used some blue thread here. I thought it would offset with the Chevy engine orange well. And one thing that I did with this that I actually hadn't noticed many of you guys doing, and maybe this is a little overkill or OCD on my part or whatever it is, but I actually downloaded the firing order off of the internet, off of Google, and actually wired this up the best I could in firing order. So 1 goes to 1 and 8 goes to 8 and everything fires in order. So even though it's a plastic model, I thought about keeping it real. I went ahead and did some detail painting on the linkage here on the side for the transmission. This one does not have like the Hurst shifter or anything along those lines, but hey, you know, if you get up underneath it and you see a little bit of the bottom, did the oil pan plug there in black, just something to set it off. Did a little detail painting on the fan blade and the hoses. You can see some white spots here. I'm working on heater hoses, so that's why they're white. I kind of scraped all the paint off. I'm trying to figure out a good epoxy to use with some wire that I'm using. You can see the firewall here. I've got a couple holes right here next to my thumb where I want to bring the heater wires back to, heater hoses back to. Painted the starter black on that. You can't really see the detail on the carburetor underneath here. It's not focusing real good, but I painted it aluminum along with the valve covers. You can kind of see a little bit of the brush stroke there, and it's a little difficult to see in this lighting as well, but the air cleaner's white, flat black mixture with gloss black. It's got a lot of detail in it that you can really see in person. The radiator and front panel mixed in here, and some of the horns and stuff. Painted off the battery, and you've got some holes in it working for the wires and everything. I've got the interior here. Let's see how well we can focus in on this and give you guys a little bit of what I'm using. Concerning the interior, basically what I've done here with the interior is I just picked up a very inexpensive sheet of felt. Let me see if I can get this in the light where it might focus a little bit better. But just there you go. You can see at Hobby Lobby, I think they're like $1 or something. You can kind of see that. I've painted the interior gloss black. You can see some of the detail on the door where I've painted some of the handles. There's not a whole lot of detail on this door. So there's not a lot of raising on it, but you can kind of see the door handles and the windows and stuff like that. So I used that, and as you can kind of tell, there's a blank spot, and I've scraped off where the glue is going to match the center console and the seats and stuff. And I'll go over this back here. I just picked up a piece of upholstery. I bought 3 or 4 different pieces. You can buy these at Hobby Lobby or Walmart or whatever, and man, it doesn't want to focus now. There was a good piece of detail there when it was focusing a minute ago. You can kind of see. So I use that on the back deck or the package shelf, whatever different people want to call it. I just remember when I was a kid laying up in there in them big old cars from the 70s and sleeping as my parents drove down the road. But I'll bring in the front seats and the center console with the shifter and everything in it. And as I place that in there, you can kind of see now that the carpet, it's not so much. You can't really tell the blanks, and especially looking in there from the exterior. It's not focusing real good on that, so I apologize, guys. It's got a little, maybe a little too much glare. I need some dull coat on those seats, kind of give you a little more detail there. That's a good shot right there. So that's it. This particular model has the pedals molded into the floor, and I painted them, but they got covered up with carpet, so they're so far under the dash you're not going to be able to see anything anyway. So that's that. Bring the dash in here, show you a little bit of the detail painting on it. I didn't get too fancy with it. It's mostly just gloss black, the vent in the top and the vents on the front. I painted some flat black. I'm just going to use what I feel was a stock steering wheel for that. Not a lot of whiteout. It's going to not give you a lot of good focus on that, so you can't really see with the black. I went over these wheels here in another video that I shot with the detail painting, so you guys can check that out as well. I've got the rear roll panel here, or rear bumper, little detail painting on that with the flat black in there, blacking that out, and got the SS emblem in there. Here's the underside of the carriage. I picked up some copper wire. This is kind of my first attempt. I was talking to a friend of mine that does models as well. He's like, yeah, I put a fuel line in. I'm like, hey, I think I'll try that. So I did it. This is my first attempt, so I'm kind of excited about it. It's not the best in the world, but hey, we're talking about a 1/25th scale model car, so you know, you can see the difference in the gloss black and the flat black. I painted it all gloss black. Then I come back with flat, all the chassis, what I felt like was chassis pieces, or you know, cross members or anything along those lines. Painted it black. I just simply drilled a little hole in there and stuck that through there and super glued it on the inside. I've got it set up here right where to go into the fuel filter, which is when the fuel pump. I mean, the fuel pump is real simple on this, so I just simply drilled a hole in it. I doubt I'm going to run a line up to the carburetor. There's just not as much detail in this kit as I thought there might be. You can see some of the interior here also, or under the hood, that you'll be able to see. Painted some of the straps, or whatever you want to call them here. It's slipping my mind right now, so I can't really focus in on it real good. There's a lot of glare there. Of course, we got the headers as well. I've got a couple different choices to use there. This is the exhaust and the rear ends all molded into one, so I just painted it all up and did that. And one thing that I point out, that some of this I didn't paint underneath here, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, so I'm not telling you anything new, but I see no need in painting super detailed parts that are not going to stand out and you're not going to be able to see. So if you see some of the parts and you don't see paint, and instead of, you know, painting it up and then having to scrape the glue off of it later, or to scrape the paint off to glue it later, or weld it or whatever, you know, I just don't even paint it. Sometimes I'll come back after I've glued it together, and then we'll touch it up. This is the body. I've scored the lines and put the backwash or black wash, or however you want to call it. Come back and did some body work. There was a couple mold line here, and over here on this side there was actually a part that I needed to fill in. It was actually cut out, so I used that Tamiya gray putty. It's the first time I've really ever used that putty, but man, it's worked good. You see a couple places I got here where my knife slipped a little bit, but I'm thinking the primer, when I come back and reprime it again, because I just have a real light layer of primer. Got a little ahead of myself on that. Put a light layer of primer on it. Hopefully when I come back and reprime it before I start laying paint down, it'll fill that in. It's not noticeable that you can't really feel it. It just kind of scratched a little bit of the primer, and like I said, since it's a real thin coat. This is the hood, and you can see there in the cowl area, did a little detail. I have not went in and primered the inside. I just laid a little bit of primer down on the outside. I've got to go back and lay the primer down again, or some more. You can see a nice gashed area there that came from the mold, but since it's on the interior, you'll never see it. There's no need in me going back and trying to fiddle with that. But this is where I'm at on that so far. The trunk, this kit has a lot of pretty good detail in it. You can't really, it's not really focusing in on that right there. But it says Chevelle across the trunk. It's just not going to focus in on it, I guess. Lighting's not great. It's got the SS up here, 454. on the front quarter panel. Once again, it's still not going to focus in on that. Sorry about that, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's got the cowl induction on the hood right here, and it's just giving me a time today, so something to do with the lighting and everything else that it's trying to focus on. And there it goes. So there you can see the cowl induction, the SS 454. Maybe I can get it to stay focused. And there's Chevelle, the trunk. So guys, thanks for watching. Once again, this Trucks Customs with Plays with Trucks Customs. Sitting in the garage today, working on some models, enjoying myself, having a good time. I'm trying to bring you an update on this 70 Chevelle that I'm working on. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Keep the videos coming. I learn a lot from you guys. I appreciate all of you out there in YouTube land, and really look forward to seeing more of your videos, and thank every one of you guys for putting stuff out there and helping me increase my techniques. God bless you guys, and have a wonderful day.